There have been many claims that Ruby and Jade from Sofia the First are fake friends. If you search up Ruby and Jade on TikTok, the first thing you're served is a video by its_KJ205 with 1,500,000 likes.
Oh my god.
Hello down there! Good evening!
Can y'all just have some decorum?
Or how about this video by AmberEt134, where we have a scene in doll form where Sofia is finally telling her two friends off. I am here to defend Ruby and Jade, and guys, you can say it. I'm so brave. But lovers, welcome to a brand new series I'm calling Re-Explore, where we take another look at shows we've covered in the lore series. With Sofia the First, although I covered the entire show, some storylines that didn't have to do with the main arc slipped through the cracks. Well, not anymore, because in this series, as the name suggests, we're gonna re-explore. Do you get it now? As always, my videos are not for kids, but for silly, goofy adults like me. You've been warned. Now let's set the scene. Sofia and her mother Miranda were average village people. Not the band that sings YMCA. I feel like you didn't need that clarification and knew what I meant. Sofia the titular bachelor and her mother were average lower class citizens. But then King Roland fell in love with Miranda because, I mean, look at her. So now Sofia is a princess. In the first episode, as Sofia is taken away by a chariot, her best friends Ruby and Jade chase it down and scream, "Don't forget about us!"
Good luck, Sophia! Don't forget about us!
And I remember when I first watched this pilot, I thought, it would be pretty funny if that's the last time we saw these two. And guys, that's like kind of what happened. They're only seen in about 16 out of 109 episodes. One thing Sofia and her mother celebrate is that in the castle, they will now have separate rooms. If you saw the Sofia the First lore video, you already heard me talk about this a lot, but get ready to hear me talk about this a lot more, because it is shown throughout the series that the wealth gap in Enchancia is tremendous. And this isn't necessarily the norm with all kingdoms of this world, as we've seen in Elena of Avalor. Their royalty is a lot more approachable, humble, and actively participate in everyday life. Elena's little sister Isabella, even though she's a princess, she went to school with everyone else, instead of going to the Fairies from Sleeping Beauty's School for Future Colonizers Royal Academy. If you didn't know Elena of Avalor takes place in the same world as Sofia the First, I'm gonna explain how. Just cover your ears for a massive spoiler in 3, 2, 1. Elena was trapped in Sofia's amulet for over 40 years. Now, what does this have to do with Ruby and Jade? The new socioeconomic differences between them and their old friend have everything to do with why they butt heads. And it's not even subtext at this point, it's just text. It's difficult for 8-year-olds to process any type of major life adjustment, but especially one that happens so quickly due to sheer luck. Roland fell for Miranda when she was tasked to make the king's shoes. King Roland is also seen appreciating other women's beauty, much to Miranda's dismay.
My.
Right there. That side eye, that tells me a lot. As sweet as Miranda is, she definitely knows that her looks got her foot through the door.
How romantic.
The only other time we see Ruby and Jade in episode 1, they tell Sofia how much they miss her, and then ask her all these questions about her new luxurious life. People critique Jade and Ruby for swooning over James. This is laughable to me. You don't remember how awkward you were around your first crush? And on top of that, like I keep saying, no one had time to adjust to the fact that James and Amber are Sofia's new siblings. It seems like they met each other for the first time after their parents were already married. So from Ruby and Jade's perspective, James is a public figure. He's part of the royal family. This may not even be a mere normal crush. This is a celebrity crush. And especially after they saw their friend Sofia's life change overnight, I'm sure at this point they want that too. They just saw Miranda live happily ever after. Why are we acting like these kids would accept their role as background characters? I certainly wouldn't. The entire first episode, Sofia's new stepsister Amber is set up as the antagonist, hazing Sofia every chance she gets. People do not complain as much about Amber because she has character development. Maybe the only reason she has character development is because she has screen time. Don't piss me off. Now listen, I know that empathizing with kids on the internet is uncommon, especially when they're girls, but allow me to teach you the art of recognizing context. The pilot episode ends with a ball celebrating Sofia being a new princess, and her best friends, Ruby and Jade, are nowhere to be seen. They are barely seen at any royal events, and I know that's not Sofia's fault, but all these frivolous activities being gatekept from them must not feel very nice.
Which is normally an event for royalty.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm gonna have to be that person over Sofia the first of all things, but why are we deriding the monarchy? More than half of all the complaints against Ruby and Jade are that they're entitled for wanting to participate in royal activities. The argument should have fallen apart right then and there, but over 100 million views does not lie, and I'm going to have to be the one opposing voice, because once again, I'm brave. I don't know what to tell you, I'm so brave. In the episode Big Sleepover, Sofia invites Ruby and Jade over to a sleepover, much to the dismay of Amber, who pretty much exactly says, wait, no, they're poor.
You invited village girls?
Amber, a 10-year-old, is worried about the value of her property going down just by her sister's friends breathing in the castle. What's worse is that I forgot the village was called Dunwitty. Enchancia. Avalor. Dunwitty. The odds are stacked against these two, but no one will tell you that part. Also, it is confirmed that Ruby and Jade are huge fans of anyone royal.
Princess Cleo! Princess Hildegard! It's such an honor! I'm a big fan! Big fan!
You're invited to a sleepover from your favorite celebrities. They laugh in your face and call you poor. I'm John Quinones. What would you do? I think I'm the perfect person to defend them because I remember being a child like it was yesterday. I was a goofy goober, and at sleepovers, I got next level hyper. I remember eating a shit ton of chocolate, yelling, "Sugar Rush!" and running around my friend's home. And yeah, maybe these little shits would have hated me, but guess what? I was free. Ruby and Jade excitedly sing a little song about being at a royal sleepover, and sure, it doesn't sound as good because they can't afford an orchestra behind them, but whatever, they're having fun. They also put rainbow pine cones in their hair, and baby Heathers sing that they have to fit in. And you guys really took that as the lesson? Media literacy is dead, dude. You can empathize with Sofia, but still acknowledge that she's being indoctrinated into classism. Ruby and Jade completely changed their look, but it still isn't enough. They're decorating fans, and because all the princesses decorated their fans with roses, Ruby and Jade have to as well. And mind you, this isn't a painting class. This is an arts and crafts activity at a sleepover. And even though there's nothing wrong with Ruby drawing a smiley face and a sad face on her fan, in fact, it's quite endearing, Sofia begs her to conform and just paint the roses. How could anybody watch this episode and side with Amber? I genuinely can't believe it. The wind is completely taken out of Ruby's sails.
Say hi to Happy Fan, not Sophia. Ruby, can you just paint roses? Don't make me Mr. Sad Fan, Ruby. Okay.
Not only did her art get insulted, but her best friend has never acted like this before. The next activity is pin the tail on the unicorn, and before Jade even played the game, she has to apologize to Princess Hildegard's mink.
Unicorns are my favorite animal in the whole world. No offense.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And when Jade was playing the pin the tail on the unicorn game, she crashed into this giant golden coat hanger solar system display, which was super in her way. Instead of blaming her for trying to ease the tension by laughing, why aren't we asking why it wasn't moved so kids don't crash into it in the first place? She was blindfolded, she obviously didn't mean to. They're lucky the giant thing didn't fall on the kid, or else they'd have a lawsuit on their hands. The only thing these two were truly at fault for during the sleepover was when they knocked over the chocolate milk fountain while trying to run to James. But they immediately apologized profusely and sincerely.
We're so sorry. So sorry. This was my third favorite count.
Sofia pulled them aside after they were cleaned up and told them to act more like princesses. Specifically, to not talk so much or laugh so loud. I've been told both of these things before. It's awful. Instead of telling Sofia off right then and there, Ruby apologizes despite her and Jade's feelings being hurt. The next activity is royal dancing, which they don't know how to do because this activity is not taught to commoners.
Do you know how to do that? No.
Not only are they scolded for being being normal kids, but they're also being side-eyed for not knowing an activity actively gate-kept from them. And besides that, it's just boring. We see a montage of them trying to dance by awkwardly bobbing up and down before they just give up. Now, I don't know how long this went on for, but it was enough time for them to want to go home. People can say this is over dramatic all they want, but they only went to the sleepover to hang out with their old friend, and she's busy dancing with her new sister that she sees every day, so they can't even talk this out. And when they try to tell Sofia that they're leaving, she says, "I'm not even joking. Oh, you're leaving now? But you're finally not embarrassing me." Guys, she actually says that. I'm not exaggerating.
You're not embarrassing me anymore.
So yeah, Ruby and Jade are once again deeply hurt. It seems like their friend has changed, and they say as much. We like to talk and we like to laugh, and if that embarrasses you, we don't have to be friends anymore. They have a strong enough sense of self to know when they're not wanted, and they don't want to change. That's amazing. I think that's really commendable, actually. TikTok will try to push the whole time and place narrative. Oh, these 8-year-olds need to learn etiquette. Well, guess where etiquette is taught? Colonizer school, and they're not invited. You want them to assimilate, which is already terrible, and you don't even acknowledge that even if they want to, which they don't have the means to. I understand during the apology, Ruby and Jade were hamming it up. Go on, how sorry are you? And maybe they were enjoying Sofia groveling a bit too much. Especially from our perspective, we're going to continue to defend Sofia because she is a good kid. Ruby and Jade were doing too much, but keep in mind they're very comfortable around their friend. This might just be their banter. And I think they really did need this extra assurance because their friend lives this new life now. While that's not Sofia's fault, she unfortunately exhibited classist behavior, and even for a second, that's very off-putting. I imagine that even after her apology, that fear is still in her friends' heads. Because of this sleepover, they are now hyper-aware of the differences between them. You know what it would be like?
Yeah, ever since I got my itty-bitty nose job, it's been kind of hard to, be seen with big noses.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, I just realized how that sounded. I will literally never bring it up again. I am so sorry that, you will never hear that from me again. Yeah, sure, okay, dude, but that was pretty crazy to hear. That was wild. Can you just let it go, dude? It's in the past. And I knows this goes without saying, but I love big noses. Fuck those uppity Whovians for real. But yes, even after you apologize, damage is still done. And that's what these kid shows fail to realize or fully resolve. The way the episode ends is so sweet and cute. The 2 village girls and 1 ex-village girl teach the princesses how to have fun. Despite being so young themselves, Amber, Hildegard, and Cleo were ashamed that they wanted to be silly and have fun too. I feel like that's kind of what the younger kids are like now. Guys, just be cringe, just have fun, goddamn. It's never that serious. So I can even extend my empathy to the rich kid bullies. I deserve a medal or something. Or maybe that's just the narrative of this kid show, and it's amazing how many of you are missing the point. Ruby and Jade are seen again in the episode Bailiwick's Day Off, which is an infuriating episode for reasons that have nothing to do with them. If anything, it shows that Ruby and Jade are more adaptable than every other child at this party. They enjoy quote-unquote boy activities like playing pirate. They also loved Amber's tea party, and were the only 2 not to complain when the butterflies flew away when they were trying to paint them. One quick jokey moment of the episode is Ruby and Jade practicing bowing at each other. And although they find it silly, it is clear that, as I suspected, the act more princessy comment has stuck with them. Bailiwick deserves his own re-explore episode because while he doesn't interact with Sofia's magical destiny, his outlook on work-life balance is super upsetting and really shouldn't be normalized in a kid's show. He spoils these children, including Sofia. Sofia knew it was Bailiwick's only day off, but still begged him to run and chase down these butterflies. You hate to see it, but Sofia is not as down to earth as she is at first glance. In season 1's The Little Witch, we meet Lucinda. Lucinda moved into the village right after Sofia left, and she torments Ruby, Jade, and the other kids. Lucinda hexes them as they're preparing for Jade's birthday party, and this is the first time Sofia witnesses this firsthand. Lucinda makes the lanterns into beehives, and as they are passing out invitations, Lucinda sabotages them. Sofia says that Lucinda won't stop unless someone asks her to, which is wild because Jade made it very clear to Lucinda that she wants her to stop. But it's different when Sofia asks, because she's the main character. Sofia immediately catches Lucinda at her most vulnerable moment, sighing and lamenting about how she's never invited to parties. Gee, I wonder why. When Sophia's trying to teach Lucinda how to make friends, she very much oversimplifies how she should make up for all the terrible things she's done. All you have to do is say sorry. Easy for you to say, you weren't being tortured by her. Ruby and Jade are horrified that Sofia would even suggest that they should forgive their bully. Jade is worried that Lucinda will play another mean magical trick, and Lucinda immediately proves her right. Sure, Jade gets really caught up in a revenge plan, but you know who could have talked down Jade? Sofia. Instead, Sofia was too busy teaching Lucinda how to be nice. She just left her friend alone after she was publicly humiliated. Here's the thing. We didn't really get to see if Sofia was this much of a mediator before she became princess. I wish we had a way to compare Village Sofia to Princess Sofia. Regardless, we know for a fact that Ruby and Jade do not see her as much, so it's unfortunate that in most of their appearances, it's been Sofia versus her friends. We don't know if Sofia was a devil's advocate from the start, but even if she was, they'd have more time to work out their differences back when she was living at the village. This dynamic plus distance is obviously going to put a strain on their relationship. I will say Jade is definitely the more stubborn of the two. Ruby forgives Lucinda during the bop. That is, I want to be a good little witch. 'Cause I want to be a good little witch. Jade is not seen throughout the song because she's too busy making a witch trap. Yes, that's problematic. I'm not defending her, but I'm sure the narrative switch is jarring because 2 seconds ago, everyone was on her side. You miss one fucking song to prepare for your own birthday, and now all of a sudden you're the village bitch for not forgiving your bully? The episode ends with Jade swallowing her pride and admitting she was wrong to somebody repeatedly cruel to her. She even invites Lucinda to her party. That is not easy to do. Lucinda even acknowledged that she probably picked on Jade the most.
I hexed her a lot.
Do not brush off how commendable Jade's forgiveness is. I wouldn't have forgiven Lucinda in all honesty. If somebody makes a meaningful change in their life, good for them, but we don't have to be friends. This is Disney we're talking about though, so I don't know. In season 1's The Buttercups, we see their version of Girl Scouts. The troop leader of the Buttercups is Ruby's mom, who looks like a princess herself. Look at Miranda's eyes on her. Is this an intimidated look? I hate to pit two queens against each other, but this, I don't know, this just didn't sit right with me. Unless she's in love with Ruby's mom, which, understandable. I need fan fiction of this on my desk by last week. Thank you. King Roland spirals about Sofia's safety on this wilderness exploration, which checks out given everything we know about him, but her being overly pampered by Castle Steward Bailiwick, smothering her the entire trip not only embarrasses her, but also prevents her from earning badges. When Bailiwick first announced Sofia's arrival, Ruby and Jade gave each other this look. This isn't a look of mockery per se, but it is definitely a, oh brother, here we go again. Even as they're a bit exasperated by the royal theatrics, they still recognize that Sofia is upset and give her really strong advice. I know you guys are gonna say, oh, you're praising them for the bare minimum, but this level of emotional intelligence is not the bare minimum for children, especially when you're claiming otherwise. I'm pointing out their good friendship moments because it seems like no one else is even attempting to. And there's so many of them. I mean, I'm not grasping at straws here. The amulet and the anthem was overkill. I agree with everyone on that. They chose who was going to sing the Enchancia anthem through a raffle. It was purely chance. Sofia was chosen and then swept away by paparazzi, portrait painters, dressmakers, etc. Ruby and Jade are jealous, but they only get snappy after Sofia brags. It wasn't like the meanest bragging in the world, but she was interrupting her friends, and I think the incident just rubbed salt in the wound. It's immature, sure, and all of you would react super level-headed and perfectly if your friend was given everything, right? Yeah, okay. I think one thing Sophia said to them that really threw them over the edge was when she said something along the lines of, this great honor on top of being a princess? Wow. The biggest overreaction of all was Elena in that damn amulet. What do you mean Sophia accidentally brags so you curse her into croaking like a frog so she's unable to sing in the first place? By the end, Sophia said Ruby and Jade should sing it alone, but they invite Sofia, the princess who already has it all, on stage to sing with them because they're a trio of besties. These are the kids you're complaining about? Listen to their beautiful voices. In the episode Tea for Too Many, Sophia wants her royal tea party to be a simple picnic just like she had in the village. But stepsister Amber reminds her that poor people are cringe. Ruby and Jade are only seen when Sophia laments to them about all this frivolous stuff she doesn't want to do. Ruby and Jade remind Sophia of her roots as they all have fun with a simple picnic. By the end, Sophia trusts her gut and hosts a picnic at the beautiful royal garden. So not super low-key or humble by any means, but in comparison to the other elementary school princesses' giant shows of wealth, draining the royal funds, all for themselves instead of the people of their kingdom, Sophia's was really small by comparison. Ruby and Jade are not seen at the royal tea party at the end because it's only for the students of royal prep. Those damn sleeping beauty fairies, say it with me now, gatekeep like a bunch of 1% motherfuckers. If you feel like I'm pushing my own narrative at all in this video, I invite you to watch Sophia the First in full and present me with arguments. I dare you. They were not subtle. Sophia feels left out now that Amber is getting along with Ruby and Jade in the season 1 finale Forza Crowd. Sophia is so used to being the mediator, a role where she is wanted all the time, and now that everyone's getting along, she doesn't really know where she fits into this dynamic. On top of that, when she found out her best friends have new favorite colors, colors Amber suggested, Sophia did not adjust to that change well. And this is just favorite colors we're talking about here. Meanwhile, her best friends had to adjust to the fact that she's a whole-ass princess. I feel like this episode is the natural conclusion to the sleepover episode, and in that way I really enjoy it. But I have literally seen Ruby Jade takedown posts where they use clips from this episode. They're not doing anything wrong. They never said, oh, now we're the main friend group. They always said, yeah, we're all friends together, right, Sophia? And Sophia felt possessive of her friends to the point where Sophia wanted to exclude Amber from plans that were originally just for the two sisters, the two of them. And don't misconstrue what I say. Sophia, mistakes and all, is still an incredibly likable character. It is a show trying to ingrain morals in children, and I think for the most part, it does a good job of that. Every character will make mistakes. I do wonder why the audience takes the mistakes more personally when it's a certain character. We want to protect Sophia because we see her the most, sure. But Ruby and Jade are barely seen. Maybe that's why people don't feel as much of an attachment to them, which makes it easier to villainize them than, let's say, a character like Amber, who's done a lot more shit. Mind you, I don't even hate Amber. The only 4 I despise is this homophobic dad and the 3 fucking fairies. And a little bit Roland too, okay? Change my mind. I hope you don't mind, I just have to address this comment directly because now I know people are convinced Ruby and Jade ignored Sophia on purpose. And I really don't think there's anything in the episode to suggest that. In fact, we know that Ruby and Jade are super excitable and can get swept up in the moment. So when you say you don't buy it, that's interesting to me. I think this is just further confirmation that we needed to see them more because it's easier to go along with Sophia's perspective. I think we're trying to validate Sophia's feelings so much. We see that she's hurt, we see she's upset, so it must be intentional, otherwise Sophia looks a little silly. And I think if it was intentional on anyone's part, it was actually intentional on Amber's part. This decorating the chariot and flying over the village is something that Amber has always done alone, and when Sophia wanted to invite her friends, Amber pushed back on that. A, she doesn't trust Ruby and Jade's tastes.
Normally an event for royalty.
B, I think Amber was excited just to be with Sophia, so then when she realized she actually enjoyed the company of Ruby and Jade, Amber got overly excited. On top of that, I do believe that Ruby and Jade felt like they needed to prove something to Amber because the sleepover did not go well hell. If Ruby and Jade don't get along with Amber, they know they're not invited back into the castle and they're going to see their best friend less than they usually do. I don't think they went into this hangout with a game plan or anything like that, but when Amber started to actually enjoy their company, I think they ran with that because it'll be easier to hang out with all of them without this whole tension about if Ruby and Jade are worthy of being there or not. I understand that from Sophia's perspective, it really seems like it's a malicious act. But when you look at the facts, they were just hanging out with Amber and Sofia was upset she didn't get the attention all to herself. If she pulled her friends aside and was like, oh, I need some one-on-one time with you, they would have done that. She didn't communicate it because Clover the fucking Rabbit was in her ear telling her it was the end of times for her friendship. And you guys bought it too! Ruby and Jade didn't do shit. Ruby and Jade are seen in Season 2's King for a Day, when James is temporarily king. Their crush on him doesn't go away, but it's certainly more manageable now, because they're friends with him too, encouraging him when they think it's appropriate, but they also express concerns. So they don't see him as a perfect boy who can do no wrong anymore. He's not on a pedestal anymore. Them being exposed to the royal family more through Sofia makes Ruby and Jade able to see them through a more realistic lens, something the villagers have needed for a very long time. I genuinely wish these two were utilized as characters more outside of their friendship to Sofia. What ways does the kingdom need help? What can the royal family do better? For starters, they definitely shouldn't have left their 10-year-old in charge even for a day. In the episode Mystic Meadows, the Buttercups are helping elderly wizards. At this point in the series, whether it's magic or wealth, Ruby and Jade are always on the outside looking in. And instead of acting like, let's say, Violet from Word Girl, who thinks of her friend's magical destiny as a betrayal, Ruby and Jade are for the most part grateful for what they get, even if it isn't much in comparison. See, I'm not actually above hating on fictional children, they just need to deserve it. And speaking of secret magical destinies, in the episode In a Tizzy, Ruby meets a fairy godmother named Tizzy who needs to earn her wings by helping someone's dream come true. Ruby wants to win the Go Carriage race, but feels bad when she doesn't tell her friends about the magical help she's receiving. Guilt Sofia has never felt for the help she's been receiving from her magical amulet throughout the series. The moment Ruby experiences a little magical privilege, she second guesses it. When Jade finds out about the fairy godmother, she gets super fucking aggro.
Did she make it for you? Not exactly.
I don't like how she was lunging at her either. Jade needs some serious therapy to deal with her anger issues and jealousy problems, my god. Jade has never experienced the glamour and magic that Sofia and now Ruby has, and clearly that's not sitting right with her. It's from this point on that Jade's anger is cranked to a level goddamn 19, and the timing is fascinating. Maybe she thought that at least her and Ruby are in this together and now that's shattered too. Eventually Ruby realized that she can win on her own, and Tizzy the godmother realized that she was helping just a bit too much, like Bailey Wick in the Buttercups episode. It's fun to see Ruby go on a similar journey to Sofia, with both of them leaning on each other a bit. Now that just leaves Jade, and she's you know...
Out of my way.
Sorry, Jade.
In Season 2's A Tale of Two Teams, Ruby, Jade, and Sofia are playing Dazzle Ball together. Jade says that she's rusty because it's been a while since they've all played together. It seems like a throwaway line at first, but it's pretty clear that Jade misses the days where they had Sofia all to themselves. Perfect foreshadowing of what's to come. Sofia promises that she'll be on Ruby and Jade's team for the annual Dazzle Ball tournament. This is especially exciting to them because Sofia has gotten significantly better at Dazzle Ball and they've never beaten the Royals before. Let's take a step back. Every year, the Royals challenge the villagers to this magical sport the ball keeps changing, and every year the Royals win. I wonder why that is. Could it be because they have access to magic on a more regular basis and practice way more than the villagers ever could? Their team mascots are the Dunwoody Ducks and the Royal Redhawks. Royals being predators, and Dunwoody being lunch. The way they look at peasants is so blatant. Sofia tries to tell Amber and James that she wants to play with her friends, but Baby Sharpay and Ryan are singing now. She agrees that she'll play with her family, and she goes off to tell her friends that she changed her mind. Listen, she's not obligated to play with her friends, but since she promised them first, she should expect hurt feelings, which she does. This is the whole reason why she doesn't tell them. Granted, she's getting interrupted a little bit, but she easily could have shut them up if she was persistent. Guys, this is important. Guys, I'm not playing with you anymore. Just spit it out. But she doesn't because she feels bad. They do that classic cartoon thing where they're like, oh yeah, wait, what were you gonna tell us? And it's just crickets from Sofia. She doesn't want to fess up. Once Sofia comes out in a royal uniform during their official practice, her friends are seething. And what you need to realize is it's not just about a game. It's about the royals getting everything they want, including their best friend. Usually they aren't this possessive over Sofia, but they just wanted the chance to have something over the royals. This game is even getting in the way of Ruby and Jade's friendship.
I didn't mean to. It's bad enough Sophia's playing for the other team. We don't need you doing it too.
That's not fair, Ruby.
That was all because Jade is terrible at Dazzle Ball now and accidentally passed the ball to James. Jesus, these fucking royals are tearing the village apart. This yearly game is just to discourage the commoners and hammer the point home that the royals will always win. See? Even when you work together, you can't take us down. Let this silly little sports game be a reminder to you to never try a revolution with us. Okay, bye. Better luck next year.
Let's go out there and show them who's in charge!
Oh, yikes. When Sofia decides to join the Dunwoody Ducks for the actual game, everyone forgives her right away except for Jade. This is the main reason why everyone hates Jade. And I'm not saying what she did was nice. It wasn't. But this kid used to be amazing at Dazzle Ball. Now all of a sudden she isn't. And everyone is praising Princess Sofia as their only hope to beat the royals. And guess what? Sofia is a royal. Jade's self-esteem is going down the pooper. Still doesn't mean it's right to say that your friend is not your friend anymore. I get why people are frustrated, but all I'm gonna say is I did worse at that age and I feel like I grew up to be a decent person. Turns out, Jade just needed glasses. And she thanked Sofia for being a wonderful friend. Should she have apologized? Probably. I'm gonna call that a we're running out of time in this episode writing problem and not a character issue because we've seen Jade repeatedly apologize in the past to people who deserved it way less. I still don't like that she yelled, "Out of my way!" on the field. Truthfully, if Sofia didn't play with them, I could see this being Jade's Joker villain origin story. You wanna know how I strained these eyes? In season 2, there's only one more episode Ruby and Jade are featured in, and it's Buttercup Amber, which mostly focuses on Amber. I forgot how fantastic her character development is. Back to Ruby and Jade. In this episode, they got so excited to see a swamp monster that they didn't listen to Ruby's mom and got reprimanded. You see how there are consequences? You see how they're learning like every other child in this world? After this, Ruby and Jade are not seen for the entirety of season 3. Bruh. In season 4's Princess Jade, the school's Royal Prep and Old Dunwoody swap one of their students for a day. So while Jade is learning potions, Pegasus flying, and other magic, Amber is learning about how magnets work and, architecture. The Dunwoody school honestly looks beautiful, but to this day, it feels cruel to me because if they end up liking it more, they cannot enroll in Royal Prep. So to not address the whole classism thing, Disney goes the opposite route. Jade likes her regular school better. I don't know why. The actual conflict of the episode is that Jade and Sofia see this portrait hanging up in Royal Prep, and they convince themselves that Jade is related to a royal, so Jade can go to Royal Prep. Sofia gets so excited that her and Jade could be going to the same school again. When Ruby hears about this, she's genuinely excited for both of them. Not the reaction I would have had if my only other friend was leaving too, but when Jade realized she doesn't want to leave Dunwoody, she's really conflicted on how to tell Sofia because she doesn't want to upset her. When the portrait is accidentally revealed, here's what the fairy godmother does. Oh shit, I guess she does look like you, huh? But that's just the architect that built this place. So you're not a royal and you can't come back. Idiot. Fuck around with magnets or some shit. Hammerhead. At this point, now that you have all the context you need, how can you hate these friends and not the society trying to rip them apart? I'd argue that this episode alone proved that Jade grew as a person off screen a bunch. Before her glasses, she was in a blind rage, quite literally. Now she is way more cautious of her actions and delivery and how they affect the emotional well-being of her friends. Like I said, the entire conflict of this last episode was her not wanting to upset Sofia. And she's devastated when she thought she did.
Your feelings will get hurt. Jade, they won't. Okay. I'm sorry, but I don't want to go to Royal Prep. What? See? I hurt your feelings.
The episode Birthday Wish follows the whole Groundhog's Day trope, where Sofia is stuck celebrating her birthday until she gets it right. Just wanted to point out all the work Ruby and Jade put into Sofia's birthday celebration, painting her face on all the party hats and balloons. Dare I say, cute. It hurts my hands. Just do this. The very last time Ruby and Jade are seen is in the series finale. Now, they don't have any standout moments, really, aside from being part of the massive group that saves Sofia from being trapped for 40 plus years like Elena. I hope we see more of them in the recently announced Sofia the First sequel series. And I hope they finally address how fuckshit the royals of Enchancia are. The sequel was announced as Sofia the First Royal Magic. It's set to air in 2026, and according to the wiki, the creator of the show, Craig Gerber, confirmed that it'll take place right after the series finale, and before Elena of Avalor's coronation, so we're not dealing with these weird aged-up designs, the most egregious of which is definitely Amber with that damn beehive. But there will be a new animation style, so I don't know. I'm holding my breath for now. I hope they're not going to create hyper-realistic children like they did with the damn lions. I wonder if they'll get Wayne Brady back as Clover. What is Cedric gonna do now? It seems like his entire arc is over. And more importantly, after this re-explore, do you think the new series will focus on Dunwitty a bit more? Let me know in a comment below, and be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I sure hope you did. What should I re-explore in the future? Take a look at my lore series playlist and inform me about what I missed in any of these shows. Have a great day. I demand it. Bye!